Hello viewers, welcome back. So in the previous video we have already seen what exactly data encryption standards is all about. We saw in detail what are the various steps involved in data encryption standards. We saw कि कितने सारे detailed steps होते हैं हर एक rounds में. We saw the internal rounds also. We saw कितने bits का key is used for encryption and how data encryption standard used to be a method of choice in the early 1980s or the late 1970s. Right? So in this video we are going to discuss what were the weaknesses present in data encryption standards which led to the advancements in the newer encryption algorithms which we are currently using, that is Advanced Encryption Standard, AES. Right? So without wasting much time, let's get started with what are the various weaknesses present in data encryption standards. Thank you so much. So let's continue our discussion. Let's assume that this is nothing but where the operations of DS happens. So let's revise quickly. What exactly used to happen is there is a plain text, right? This particular plain text goes inside the DES architecture and it comes out as the cipher text. We all know these are the basics of any block cipher, and DS being one of the block ciphers, it also uses the same technique. Now, if you remember, we have to apply a key to this functional block so that this functional block DES works. Now, if you remember, the plain text and the key all need to be of the similar size or same size so that the functioning can take place. XOR operations, intermixing of S box, P box, and everything should work, right? So for that purpose, these plain text and keys should be of the same order. We also know that the data encryption standard is ultimately based on feastal architecture, right? So feastal architecture, if you revise, अगर थोड़ा याद आ रहा होगा आपको feastal architecture कैसा था, it used to be something like this, where the 64-bit का plain text was broken down into 32 का LPT and 32 का RPT, that is left plain text and right plain text, right? So what used to happen is the same thing works over here as well inside data encryption standards. So we will consider, I'm just giving a quick recap. So we are going to consider that this plain text which you see on your screen is of the size 64 bits. Similarly, the key also initially used to be of 64 bits. Now, if you remember, this 64 bits becomes a 56-bit effective key which is going to be used inside DS. The whole purpose of drawing this scenario is nothing but to make you understand that DES actually uses only 56 bits, not even 64 bits for encryption. Yaad aa raha hai? If you remember, this is what we did in the last few videos, right? So what happens is when data encryption standard was introduced, that is in the year 1976, if I'm not wrong, it was introduced in November 1976, then it was actually implemented or made commercial in 1977. So when this algorithm came into existence, at that point, at that time, it was considered to be a very sophisticated kind of an algorithm. Obviously, after NSA mentioned that this algorithm can be used for commercial purposes, DES was actually commercially used, or DES was implemented throughout the world. What happened is, at that time when this was introduced, it was considered to be secure. But if we compare with today's algorithms, 64 bits or 56 bits is not that difficult to crack. Why? What happens is, if I consider this key of 56 bits, which is nothing but, it is a combination of zeros or ones, right? So binary value here. So what happens is, at that time when this was introduced, cracking this was very difficult, because 2 raised to 56 combinations could be there to crack a DES key. Why 2 raised to 56? Because we are dealing with only 2 numbers. So the base remains 2 and the power is 56. It can be 2 raised to 56 combinations. At that time when it was introduced, it was considered very secure. But just consider the computers which are present right now. Not even right now. You can even compare this with the computers present in the year 1990s or this particular decade of 1990s. We were having computers, right? Windows came into existence, the operating system Windows came into existence, even Mac came into existence. and we were having computers with processors such as Pentium 1, 2, 3, 4, Celeron processors, etc. Right? So these were in a position to crack this, I won't say in minutes, but in few hours, right? So that particular thing led to the what you can say led to the decline of data encryption standards. Because if you just consider 2 raised to 56 combinations, अगर मैं आज के computers की बात करूं, it is not that difficult to crack 2 raised to 56 within few minutes. So just imagine how easy it would be to break such keys within few minutes, if not seconds, right? So if I consider 1990s ka era, 1990s ka period, it would have taken few hours to break this. So that is what led to the decline of data encryption standards. This is one of the main drawbacks of data encryption standards, and that is why it started losing its popularity, and slowly, advanced encryption standard replaced data encryption standards. We are going to learn about advanced encryption standards in some later videos, but for the time being, I am just considering this as the main drawback of data encryption standards. So I hope you got the understanding of what led to the decline, or what led to the public losing its interest in DES and its faith on DES. So with that, I would conclude this video. It was a short video. In the next video, we are going to learn about what is double DES and triple DES. So stay tuned, subscribe to my channel, and God bless you all.